We dropped out to dental. We went out of network with all insurances. I was down to Premier and everybody thought, oh, that's great. It's the higher paying one. If you get rid of that one, then we're going to lose so many patients. What if it doesn't work out? Blah, blah. I'm like, okay, what if it does work out?
Oh,
Let's be positive. I love that line. What if it does work out?
Welcome to the Just Do It podcast, hosted by Duffy. Dental Entrepreneur Women is here to dive deep and share stories with the mission to inspire, highlight, empower, and connect all women in dentistry.
hello, everyone. It's Ann Duffy, and welcome to the Just Do It podcast. I am so happy that you're with me today, and I have a brand new friend that I met in Arizona, Women in Dentistry by Habshaw, Dr. Effie Habshaw. Had a beautiful conference at the Spear Foundation, and this beautiful Do, and she joined Do right away because she's so cool. And I had coffee one morning, and I told her a little bit about what we do. And she says, how can I join? And I'm like, oh, I would love you to join. But before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about her. Dr. Sandra Calleros is a Southern California dentist, practice owner, and proud grandmother who loves tennis, pickleball, hiking, and good country music. Fun facts. She owned horses and motorcycles, which never I met her. No joke, no surprise over here. And yes, she's been in the Pasadena Rose Parade. No surprise about that either. Please help me welcome Dr. Sandra Calleros. How are you, darling?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's so good to see you. We just had so much fun meeting each other. And then, I didn't even have to twist your arm or anything. And you joined Do right away, Dental Entrepreneur Woman, because you are a dental entrepreneur woman. So, of course, this felt like a good fit.
Yeah. Where were you when I first started practicing?
I know. And I think it just takes a while to realize the pent-up demand, right? For women coming together in community to bolster each other, to help each other. And luckily, I hung the phone up one day and I was mad my friend was bullied. And here we are, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary. So,
wow, congratulations. It's just so nice to have these groups in this time. And there was nothing like it when I graduated. There was no support. We didn't even have cell phones back then. Things were just really different now.
that is so true. But I am so proud of you. We talked about before we got on about how you love learning. And, obviously, because we're looking at your strengths, learner is one in your top 5. So you're constantly learning and pivoting because there's new things coming out in dentistry all the time, right? And so one of your strengths is going down a rabbit hole. So that is the basement of learner, is going down a rabbit hole and keep going. But, it's so wonderful because being a dentist, you have to continue learning your entire life.
Yeah, and it takes time and energy, and I still love doing it, but I just went to a big conference in Miami recently, and that was super fun. It was all cosmetic dentistry veneers with Dr. Appa.
Oh, wow.
So, even at this point in my career, I think even after I retire, I'm still going to want to learn things. I'm going to learn. I don't care what it is. I'll take art classes, pole dancing classes,
you name it.
I just want to learn. I love learning.
Well, okay. So because so one thing that we did introduce to you was the StrengthsFinders and Gallup StrengthsFinders 2.0. And I was also saying before we started to record that you and I could be twins because we've got 3 of the top 5. Your number 1 is Activator, then your positivity, woo, focus, and learner. So a couple things about your strengths and why you're so cool is, first of all, I heard this year that time is not the most important thing that we have. Focus is.
Mm-hmm.
That is something so key because you can actually, even as a learner, once you get all that knowledge, you have the tendency of being able to take that knowledge and put it together and focus on what you're doing to make that one procedure to be excellent, because you are not going to quit until it is just right.
Yeah. I have to say, I guess I would be an implementer. So I learned something and, I'm not just going to leave the notes in my drawer and bring it out 6 months later. I'm going to implement right away. It's been a little bit difficult with a team isn't on that same page. They've generally called me racehorse, slow down racehorse, because I just want to get in there and implement. And, there's some people on the team who are very slow. let's start with this step and then get that mastered. And then we're going to master step number 2. And I'm kind of like, no, let's just get in there and do it. And we're going to pivot and we're going to change things. If it doesn't work, we're going to just go this way, but we're going to get there, and we're not going to get there next year. We're going to do it now.
You just explained, let me tell you the balcony of activators: self-starter, lights the fuse, quick decider, gets things started, and high energy. That is your number 1. So that is you. Now, maybe one of your team members, this is why it's really kind of important to give it to your team, because one of your team members might be deliberative. And deliberative is like, oh, they're going to take a long time to say yes, they're going to do it. But when they finally buy in, you've already finished the race by the time they buy in.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to find that balance between an activator, but an activator is in the influencing realm. So one of the things I hope you learn from your strengths is from activator. Positivity is relationship building. You have something in every domain. So there's executing, which would be focus. There is influencing. We have woo and activator are influencing. So you can get the troops rallied. You know all your neighbors, all the dentists in town, you know everybody, you got this thing going, and then your focus will keep you in check. That is actually executing. So your focus is executing, and then learner is strategic. So you've got a really nice balance of all the strengths in your top 5. But again, with woo and activator, and positivity is also an influencing strength as well, because who doesn't want to be around somebody that's positive? You can take any situation, Sandra, I'm pretty sure, and make it a good one. Turn it around, and it's going to be okay. Because positivity, let me tell you what that is. That's relationship building, enthusiastic, lighthearted, energetic, generous with praise, optimistic, fun, and uplifting.
I like that.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I love having positivity. That's my favorite strength, because I feel like as an entrepreneur and as a dentist, it's really nice to have positivity, because some days are not great.
Yeah. I love when somebody says, what if it doesn't work out? Like we dropped out to dental. We went out of network with all insurances. I was down to Premier, and everybody thought, oh, that's great. It's the higher paying one. If you get rid of that one, then we're going to lose so many patients. What if it doesn't work out? Blah, blah. I'm like, okay, what if it does work out?
Oh,
Let's be positive. I love that line. What if it does work out?
Yeah.
And now it's been great. Like we're getting our full fees. If we want to give a discount, we can give a discount, but we don't have to give a discount.
wow.
We have the freedom and the independence now. I had to kind of drag them to convince them and be positive every day about it. But that wasn't easy.
Now you can understand it, though, because you ooze positivity no matter what. And a lot of times, one of our children calls it toxic positivity, because I can take every situation and make it positive. And she's like, Mom, it's toxic positivity. Let me be sad here for a minute. And like, it's really hard to see people be sad over when you've already moved on like a racehorse.
Yeah.
Not only with your activator, but also with your positivity is so cool. And then woo, that's my number 1. It's number 3 for you, which is very high on your top 5. Outgoing, people-oriented, networking, connector, and a rapport builder. So another great strength for building a practice, because you built rapport with many, many people. And they come back, and then they recommend their friends and their family, and they come back, and you get to share their whole lives with them. I love that you do babies and you do geriatric. You do the whole gamut, the whole age group of people that walk through your doors.
Yeah, and it's just amazing to have, see a patient in the chair when, I remember when they were sitting in the stroller in the corner, and I'm working on the mom. And now they're all grown up and they're in college, and they're getting married and they're having babies of their own. It's pretty incredible to stay for that length of time to be able to see that.
Yeah, I think that is why dentistry is so rich, right? And that brings me to one of the questions that I'd like to ask you. Would you choose dentistry? You honestly, as smart as you are and as engaging and fun and all these things, you could have done anything. I'll say that right now, Sandra. But
thank you.
Would you choose dentistry again as a career, and why?
I would choose dentistry for myself. I love it after all these years. I think it's a great profession for women because you can set your own hours. I knew way back when, I didn't want to be a doctor who, say, worked in a hospital. I didn't want to have to work nights and Saturdays and Sundays and holidays because I knew I wanted to have a family. And I also knew that I kind of wanted to have my own thing. I didn't want to work for somebody else. I wanted the independence and the creativity to be able to create my own thing. So I don't like people telling me what to do.
Yeah. That's because you like to go fast and furious. And that's cool because I think one of the best gifts an entrepreneur can have, because you're an entrepreneur, you're a dental entrepreneur woman, running your practice, owning your practice. Positivity is such a great strength. And, honestly, I think I may have told you this, Sandra, but these are God-given talents. Okay. This is like he gave it to you in the womb. He knew what you were meant for. And I believe that because when I took strengths the first time, it was in our parish. And that was the whole gist of it. It was all about the God-given talent. So I took it 18 years ago and believe in that. But as an entrepreneur running a practice, as a female general dentist back in the day, you had to have positivity, and that has kept you loving it all these years. I'm sure the road hasn't been smooth sailing, as it isn't for anybody that's an entrepreneur.
No, definitely not smooth sailing.
Yeah, but you always bounce back, and you've built this great practice, and I'm proud of you, but I know you should be very proud of yourself because back in the day when you first started, was it easy back when you first started?
No, I would have to say it wasn't easy. So how I got started, I graduated dental school, and the only jobs you could really get when you're new, at least for me, was to work like in the big clinics, the HMO clinics. And so I started doing that. I just was not happy at all. I hated it. I didn't feel like it was ethical for the patients. It was high volume. I didn't like the way they were billing. The pay was really bad. And I just thought, I didn't go to school for 8 years to work in this kind of environment. Like, I want something better for myself, and I'm going to have it one way or another. If I can't have it in dentistry, like, I'll just quit being a dentist and go sell shoes. I don't know. Like, I just got the yellow pages out and I started calling dentists, and I was living in Manhattan Beach. So I started calling the local dentist from the yellow pages.
Wow.
And one of them, he said, well, I'm not hiring anybody, but you can just come over. I'll talk to you. So I went over there, and turns out that this person ends up being my future husband. He's a lot older than me. He's a dentist, established practice. He says, I don't need an associate, but if you want to start doing hygiene. So I was like, I'll do hygiene. Like, I want to work in a nice practice. I don't care. I'll just do hygiene, and then slowly build up my own patient base. So we ended up getting married, having 2 kids. But it turns out that, he was kind of a domineering person. I was a lot younger, he was older, and, we ended up getting divorced. And so then, since it was his practice, it was hard for me because I didn't know where to go. Like, where am I going to go? I have my little tiny patient base, but I don't know what to do. It's confusing and really hard. So kind of bounced around. And it wasn't even until I was 50 that I built my own practice. Had my own location. Now, 2011, and I was 50 years old. So I haven't really had my own practice. I mean, I've had my own practice, but not like my own location.
Yeah.
Until I was 50, and I'm going to be 65.
Wow. You're beautiful. That is super cool. I love hearing that though, Sandra, because I think women today, they feel like if they're 50, it's like they should be a certain place, right? And that's not true. I was 62. I tell everybody this. I was 62 when I started DO. So you just keep on doing our stuff and doing what feels right. I love that you followed your heart and then the integrity that you had from the very beginning. Yeah. What was right in your mind. And then it's not too late. So, okay, I'm going to do that at 50. And that's why you still love it. And that's why it's your third child, I guess, at this point, because you own it and you've built it. And kudos to you that you've done so well with that. And so I think there's a lot of young women that are listening to this today that are saying, okay, so give me some advice. I'm a new dentist. I'm just getting out of school, or I've been in a DSO, possibly working for 1 or 3, 4 year, 5 years, whatever, ready for something new. What advice would you give them?
Well, I think it's also important to know and find out what you don't want. And if you work in those places, okay, I don't want to work in a high-paced, high-volume practice that doesn't have a lot of integrity. They're not very ethical. So I think you need to hopefully find a mentor who's doing what you want to do, something you can aspire to, somebody who'll inspire you and mentor you. Can't say I had that, but if I had it, I think it would have been so helpful. So find a mentor. Don't cheap out on CE. Go to Spear, go to Coist, get some really good CE, because I think when you have knowledge, that gives you confidence. And, there's also experience too. Just keep one foot in front of the other. Just keep kicking that can down the road. And I think find a coach. I've had a coach since 2014.
Okay.
And I'm still working with a coach at my age. I feel like, until I'm done with dentistry, I need my coach, Bethany. She's a dentist who only does coaching now, Bethany Physics. And
yeah. I love Bethany Physics.
You know her?
Yes, I know Bethany.
She's
and
awesome.
She's a horse person.
Which is how I got connected with her. I listened to a podcast and she was talking about the horses. And since I'm a horse person, I reached out to her. I go, this is really interesting. And she goes, well, would you like to come in for a session? And I said, okay. So I flew to Scottsdale and I had a session with her, and she's been my coach ever since. And I love her. She's helped me through so much.
Oh, yeah. She's just great. Well, you better tell her when we get off this. This is how dues work, right? So,
I told her I was going to be on the podcast. I think she said she was a do at one point.
Yeah, she was a do. And then she got with Gnome or Calm or something like that. And then, we kind of lost touch, but she knows me really, really well. So you tell her that I said hello. I'd love to welcome her back. You guys need to come to the retreat together and room together. And wouldn't that be fun? She would love our 10th anniversary, because Bethany was with me right in the very beginning. And then she's moved on to, so there's a season for everything. You're never leaving, though. Once you get into our little thing here, we're going to take good care of you. But please give her my love. I mean, women are so amazing in dentistry, aren't they? I mean, I love that you said you need a coach. It's never too soon to get a coach. You make mistakes accidentally out of just trying, especially when you're activator, because we make a lot of fast decisions, right?
Right.
And we can pivot too. So we make fast decisions to get in and fast decisions to get out. But a coach sometimes will say, whoa, Nellie, let's slow down a little bit there. And that makes me so...
Put the whip down,
Yeah, but that still makes me so happy. That's principle number 3, good do's find good do's. So it's no surprise that your coach is somebody that I know, and I just love her. So that's super cool.
Yeah, she helps me so much to this day.
Oh, I love it. Well, so what's the stuff that, what's your best and what's your least favorite part about owning a practice?
So I think the best part is just providing an extra special space where people go, where my team goes. We live there many days of the week, a good part of our life. We're there. So, I'm proud that I've created a practice that my team loves. I love that I created a place where my patients love. I have a practice that's a lot of walk-bys, I call it walk-by traffic. So right on the street, and sandwiched in between 3 restaurants. And I love it when I'm sitting in my office and I overhear a patient who just walked in to say hello. Hey, how are you guys doing? And everybody's hearing the laughter. So having a happy place where patients are confident in our work, they appreciate our work, being able to do that, it's just really rewarding.
It's like your home. It's like you open the front door and you immediately get a feeling of oh, I could spend a little time here. And you're very cool that you have a walk-by location, because I think don't ever underestimate the signage from a walk-by or a drive-by dental office, because so often they're in a big building and you have to do so much marketing to get that done. And you've got people walking in off the street if it looks inviting. So do you like decorating? Is that a beautiful space for you? Is that part of it?
I don't think I'm good at it myself, but I hired an interior designer to make my office beautiful. And even back when I opened it, I told the designer, I want it to be more like a spa, pretty, I guess more feminine, pretty looking office. I didn't want it to be black and gray and,
sterile.
What you have as a typical male practice.
Yeah, we do love our men, but we have an eye for beauty. I think women do have an eye for beauty that sometimes is lost on the male gene.
Which also helps in cosmetic dentistry. So I think Dentistry is still a great profession. Find a mentor, do it a certain way, get intentional, get your coach, get your CE. I think it still takes years of experience, and I think that's why we call it a practice. I think there's never like an end point where you can say, okay, that's it. I'm the perfect dentist. I'm done.
Yeah.
You're not. You're going to keep learning, and you need to keep learning and keep getting better every single year.
Well, that's probably why you like it so much. I mean, again, looking at your strengths, you're a learner, and you got to learn. You got to keep learning as a dentist, and anybody in the profession like that. It would be really hard if it was not something you wanted to do, because you have to be good. You've got to keep that going. The question that popped into my mind: how many women were in your graduating dental class?
That's a good question. When I graduated, there were maybe 20 to 25% women.
Okay.
So like for women that are still practicing at my age, it's probably 1 in 5.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think it's like 50% of the class or higher. So that's been pretty amazing to watch that evolution and the tides change over the years. It's pretty incredible. Taking charge of dentistry, I love it.
You're a trailblazer, actually. We have a documentary that we just played at the Hinman, and Sharon Parsons. Actually, I think Sharon is just a year or two ahead of you. I'm going to introduce you to Sharon. She's amazing. And she is still practicing, still loving it. And she was, back in the day, again, the hardships of just not being able to get a loan, not being referred to, all of those things as women. And in fact, somebody had said to her, why do you want to take the seat away from a man? So California, so California is a little bit more, I think, progressive on that end. But 20%, you really were not the norm. And yet it lends itself to, I think, feminine intuition and beauty and all those things. I also love that you're helping women with what were you talking about with the babies, the tongue tie?
All the sleep training led me to be a provider doing infant tongue tie releases. So if a baby has a tongue tie, it can make it difficult for breastfeeding for the baby and the mom. So,
the thing about it is, Sandra, that you learned that, right, from your research and all that, and then you're doing it. But how many moms have you seen with their babies that don't even know that that's the problem and have gone through all of this?
And I was one of those moms who had problems with breastfeeding. I had mastitis. My daughter was colicky, gassy, crying I didn't know to check for a tongue tie.
Yeah.
And even today, a lot of people don't know about it.
I know it. So I think that is another really cool thing that you've taken into your practice to do it on your own. You've really taken the time to learn about it. That's a gift for a mom, because mostly we blame ourselves if something's not working. And a simple procedure, I just think that's really neat that you've recognized that, and that's a part of your practice. And no wonder they keep coming back to you time after time, and that those kids, you see the kids grow and have kids of their own, and all of those beautiful parts of the relationship part of dentistry, which is just so beautiful.
Just one thing I remember going back to how it was. I remember he was an accountant, like a specialized accountant, or he might have been an attorney. He told me I needed to cut my hair. My hair was too long.
Oh, really?
In order to be taken seriously, I needed to,
I
still have not cut my hair.
Look at the two of us. I know my hair is so long right now. I mean, I actually do need a haircut.
I don't have as much as I used to, but, it's still...
It's gorgeous. Well, you know what? This is the thing about with even knowing your strengths, knowing what you're really good at. Did you get all 34? Or did you just get your top 5? Do you remember?
I just got the top 5.
Okay. So the 34 that you have, there's 34 strengths that they measure. They're still there. So it's a little money grab. You could just pay another $40 or $30 and get your 34, because it's fun to see what's dead last. Because then you're going to give yourself some grace about I'm not good at it. That's to give to somebody else that has that strength, right? But it's do you, right? And I think if you're listening, we love ending this podcast with the mantra of everybody, keep doing you. If you want to have long hair and you want to play pickleball and you're going to go to Coachella or you're going to watch it on YouTube, it's time for women to just take a stand and do us and do you, because we are pretty phenomenal. What parting advice do you have? Because I know you've got a lot in front of you. I know eventually you're going to sell your practice. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to buy your practice. You've got a great location, and it's also just,
Be persist. I'm not contracted with any insurance companies anymore.
fee for service.
Pay for
Oh,
service. Patients who pay because they want to come.
I mean, that's a gold mine
They're
for
not
somebody.
coming in because they found me on their plan. They're coming in because they have heard about the practice and the high quality and the attention to detail. And it feels like family in our practice. So yeah, I was going to sell my practice at the end of the year. This was the year I was supposed to be working for an owner, like part-time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Man plans and God laughs. Go continue.
Yeah, so the sale of the practice didn't go through for various reasons. So here I am in 2026 working full time again, loving it though. I really do. I guess I'm kind of a control. I like the control. So
Yep.
being there every day gives me 100% full control. I'm seeing patients that I haven't seen in a long time because they would come on the days when I wasn't there. So
Okay.
that's been kind of cool. And I told my team at the beginning of the year, I said, our slogan for this year is, excuse my French, let's fucking go 2026 with 3 exclamation marks. So we say LFG.
LFG. I love it.
26. And, we've just ramped it up and we're going really strong. But at the same time, my lease is up at the end of the year. I'm going to be
Okay.
65. I love spending time with my grandkids. I love riding horses. I love playing tennis. I love going out to the desert. So, I've always made time for fun no matter what. So I'm at a point where I have to decide, what am I going to do? Because my lease is running out and I'm going to be 65. I'm going on Medicare this year.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I think it will be revealed. You've built something really strong. You're ready for a little bit more time to have more fun. Not that dentistry is not fun, but sometimes, again, your plan, it just wasn't ready. And now it's kind of cool. You're forced to maybe go back and reboot just a bit. The joy of seeing somebody that you haven't seen for a couple of years and catching up. And then they go, oh my God, you're going to see me today. I could just see that is really beautiful. And that,
they're also saying, I'm so glad you didn't retire.
Oh, I love that.
I'm so happy. I want you to be my dentist. Don't ever retire. That is the biggest compliment right there. When a patient knows that you're thinking about retiring or planning on it, and they say, I'm so glad you didn't retire.
Oh, well, that's a lovely way to exit 2.0. You're in control right now. You make those decisions and it's all going to be great. It's really the timing for that, I think, will be perfect. And fun fact, my mantra this year, which you will love, and we're so again, I think we can be twins with different mothers. Mine is giddy up. Mine is giddy up.
No way.
Yeah, because, well, first of all, it's the year of the horse. And I just found out the end of last year that was the year of the snake. And I was glad I didn't know. I don't like snakes. I'm allergic to them, I think.
Shed this old stuff.
Yeah, get rid of the old, shed it.
Get that skin.
And the horse, I'm like, giddy up, girl. This is it. Because I'm 72. I'm going to be 73. Wow. But then again, I have to tell you, Sandra, so you'll do something else because dues don't retire. It's principle number 9. Start and don't stop. Dues don't retire. So I don't know what that looks like for you. Oh my gosh, you're going to have so many courters, I guess, people courting your practice for a fee for service in California. Hello, where is it? In Southern California. Whereabouts are you?
Close to the beach. We're a beach town. I'm in El Segundo, which is right next to LA International Airport.
Ooh, okay,
so town.
Oh my gosh, cute little town. Now I wish I was a dentist. So I'd come over and, hey, you never know who's going to hear this podcast. So how do we find you? Let's go there. And then we'll wrap it up here. How does anybody find you? Number one, if they just want to, reach out, if you're a do and you want to talk to Sandra, please let her know. And then also, how does anybody in this world find you, Sandra?
You can email me at sandycalleros@gmail.com, Sandicalleros@gmail. If you want to text me, I don't care. My cell number, 310-200-1958, 310-200-1958. So that's my personal email, my cell phone.
That's pretty strong,
Send me a
everybody.
text or call me, whatever you want.
If you want to have that discussion, I'm telling you, this is the best commercial we could ever do. Come on, everybody. Let's go. What is it?
I love Giddy Up, though. That could have been mine.
Yeah. It's a little cleaner than yours. It's a little less, but what I was just saying, what is yours? What's the acronym?
LFG.
LFG. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Okay.
Let's
I'm with you.
freaking go.
Yeah. Well, okay. Cheers to both of us. I love meeting
You're the
you.
fire horse, not just the horse. It's the fire horse.
Yeah. Well, I think we could ride that race together, my dear. And if you're listening to us today, remember the most important thing you can do is to keep doing you. And Sandy, we're going to keep doing us. Okay. Thanks for having the time today for me and for our listeners. I loved having you on this podcast, and I will see you next time.
Thank you so much. It's been fun.
Thank you for listening to the Just Do It podcast, hosted by Ann Duffy. To learn more about dental entrepreneur women, to share your story, or to join the movement, please visit our website, do.life. That is DEW.life. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting app to make sure you don't miss an episode. And in the meantime, keep doing you.